Toma was a quiet man who liked machines more than people. He lived in a small village on Earth, where most people worked in farms or repaired old machines. Toma was different. He loved to explore and find forgotten things from the old world. One day, Toma flew his small ship to a dry, empty planet called Varine 3. Long ago, it had been a trade station. Now, it was silent. Dust covered the ground, and the wind made soft, lonely sounds. Toma stepped out of his ship and looked around. The buildings were broken. Metal pieces lay everywhere. He turned on his scanner and walked slowly, searching for anything useful. His village needed power cells, small tools, anything to make life easier. As he walked deeper into the ruins, he felt something strange. The wind stopped. The air became still, like it was watching him. Toma turned around. Someone was there. She stood at the edge of the broken wall, tall and calm. Her skin was teal blue, soft like the sky after rain. Her long dark hair moved gently, even though there was no wind. She wore a long silver robe that looked old but clean. Before Toma could speak, she slowly walked toward him. Her eyes were quiet, not afraid, not angry. She moved like water, smooth, peaceful. Then she did something unexpected. She knelt down. In front of him, Toma froze. He had never seen anyone kneel like that, not even on Earth. It was not fear or begging. It looked more like respect. The woman looked up at him, her voice soft like a warm breeze. "I can give you more than they ever will," she whispered. Toma blinked. "What?" She raised her hand and touched a small glowing crystal on her wrist. It pulsed with gentle light blue, like her eyes. "I waited," she said. "I watched. You came with open hands, not empty hearts." Toma didn't understand. "Who are you?" "My name is Neri," she said. He looked around. "Are there others here?" "No," she said. "Only memories." "I am the last." Toma felt something stir inside him. He didn't know why, but he felt calm. He lowered his scanner and sat on a broken metal beam nearby. Neri stayed kneeling for a moment, then stood slowly. She walked a few steps and looked over her shoulder. "Come," she said. "There is something I want to show you." Toma looked back at his ship. It was safe. He had food, water, and his tools. But something about her voice made him stand and follow her. They walked through broken streets, over dusty stones, and past silent walls. Vines had grown over many of the buildings. Some glowed faintly, as if they still remembered light. After some time, Neri stopped at a hill covered in moss and small flowers. She pressed her hand to the ground. A hidden door opened with a soft sound. Toma stared as she walked inside. It was not dark. Inside the hill was a glowing tunnel. The walls were smooth, silver and blue, with lines of light that moved slowly like rivers. It felt alive. They walked quietly. Neri said nothing, and neither did Toma. He wanted to ask questions, but something told him to wait. Finally, they entered a large round room. It was beautiful. In the center of the room stood a tall crystal tree. It had no leaves, but its branches shine with soft colors: green, gold, blue. Round the tree were small stones shaped like seats. The walls had carvings, shapes, symbols, maybe even stories. "This is the heart room," Neri said. "It listens." Toma looked around. "Listens to what?" "To thoughts, to feelings," she said. "My people, the Reline, live with the world, not over it. We did not control. We shared." Toma stepped closer to the crystal tree. He reached out, but didn't touch it. "I came looking for old machines," he said. "I didn't expect this." Neri smiled. "Machines break, meaning does not." Toma looked at her. "Why did you say you could give me more?" She turned her head slightly, then walked to the base of the tree. A small crystal rose from the floor and floated in front of her. She touched it, and the light inside it changed. "I can give you understanding," she said. "Not just things, but the way to make things better." Toma sat down on one of the stone seats. He felt small, but not in a bad way. He felt like someone had opened a new door in his mind. "My village needs help," he said. "The water is bad. The machines are dying. People are tired." Neri nodded. "Then you must learn how to give." Not just fix. Toma looked at the glowing crystal. Can this help them, if you are ready to listen? She said. He didn't speak for a while. Toma woke up in a soft, glowing room. He was still in the underground place Neri had taken him to. The walls gently shimmered with light, like the inside of a calm dream. For a moment, he forgot where he was. Then he remembered the crystal tree, the floating light, and Neri's quiet voice. He sat up. A soft scent filled the air, something like fresh leaves and warm tea. Neri entered the room. She was carrying a small bowl with round fruits. She placed it near him and smiled. Eat, she said. It will help you feel clear. Toma took one of the fruits. It was soft and sweet. As he chewed slowly, he felt more awake, more calm. Inside, where are we? He asked. This place was once called Ralenvar, Neri said. It was the home of the Raline, my people. Toma looked around, but everything above was broken. Why is this still here? She walked to the wall and touched a glowing symbol. The wall opened slowly, revealing a path deeper into the ground. We built this part to last. It is protected by memory. Only those who come with peace in their hearts can find it. Toma followed her. They walked through quiet tunnels and entered a wide hallway. It was filled with lights that moved like stars. On the walls, shapes danced. Some looked like people, some like animals, and some like flowing rivers. These are the stories, Neri said. They are not just pictures. They are living memories. Toma stopped and stared at one of the moving images. It showed tall blue figures or lean sitting in circles, their hands open, their eyes closed. Around them, trees grew, water flowed, and small machines moved on their own, guided by light. What are they doing? He asked. They are sharing thought energy, Neri said. It is the power of calm minds, open hearts, and shared dreams. It can help grow life, repair things, and guide machines gently. Toma frowned. That sounds like magic. It is not magic, she said. It is balance. Everything is connected. The Raline learn how to listen, not just talk. When you listen to the world, it listens back. Toma kept walking beside her. He didn't fully understand it yet, but something inside him felt drawn to it like a plant turning toward sunlight. They reached a large open room filled with small floating stones. Each one pulsed with slow, gentle light. This is the sky. Room, Neri said. Each stone carries a piece of someone's thoughts. Some are memories. Some are dreams. Some are questions. Toma looked up at the glowing stones. Are they alive? In a way, Neri said. They respond to care. You may try. Toma stepped closer to one. As he held out his hand, the stone drifted toward him. When it touched his fingers, a soft sound filled the air like a song sung by wind and water. Suddenly, images appeared in his mind. He saw a young Raline girl planting a tree with her mother. They smiled, laughed, and pressed their hands into the soil. Light flowed from their fingers into the roots. The tree began to grow, slowly but surely. The image faded, and the stone floated away. Toma turned to Neri, his eyes wide. That was beautiful, she nodded. Now you see. They walked again, and Neri took him to a quiet garden deep inside the city. It was full of strange, glowing plants. The light here was soft and always changing, like a sunset that never ended. Neri sat beside a pool of clear water. You asked before why I said I could give you more than they ever will, she said. Toma nodded. Yes, what did you mean? Most humans who came before wanted only tools, she said. They asked, what can I take? You asked, what can I learn? That is why I speak with you. Toma thought about his village, the people that worked hard. But life was difficult. The soil was dry, the air was dusty, and the old machines often broke down. If I learn your ways, he said slowly, can I help them? Yes, she said, but not with power, with peace. You must learn to see not just with eyes, but with your spirit. He looked at her. How? Neri gently placed a smooth crystal in his palm. It was small and clear, but inside it shimmered with tiny lights. This is a seed crystal, she said. It listens to your thoughts. If your heart is balanced, it can grow. Toma held it carefully. It felt warm. If I fail, it will remain silent, she said. But it will not harm. It waits patiently. Toma looked at the pool's surface. His reflection seemed different, calmer. Somehow Niri stood. Come back tomorrow. We will begin your learning. Toma followed her back to his resting room. As he lay down, he held the crystal in his hand. He stared at the ceiling, which glowed like a quiet sky. His mind was full, but not heavy. He didn't understand everything, but he felt something important had begun. And for the first time in a long while, he slept without worry. The next morning, Toma woke up early. The light in the room was soft, coming from glowing lines on the walls. The crystal Neri had given him was still in his hand. It felt warm again, like it was waiting for him to wake. He got up and walked through the quiet hallway, guided by the lights that gently brightened as he passed. Neri was already in the garden, sitting beside the clear pool. She smiled when she saw him. You came. I said I would, Toma said. He sat beside her and looked at the pool. The water didn't move, but tiny lights floated just above it, like little stars. Today, we begin with stillness, Neri said. Toma looked at her. Stillness? Yes. Your world is always moving, machines, voices, thoughts, but to feel energy, you must first become still. Neri closed her eyes and placed her hands on her knees. Her breathing was slow and calm. Toma did the same, though his mind was not quiet yet. He thought about the village, about his ship, about how strange this place was. After some time, Neri opened her eyes. It is okay. Stillness takes practice. She took a small bowl filled with smooth stones and placed one in his hand. Hold. This, she said. Breathe slowly. Focus only on the stone. Don't think about its name or shape. Just feel. Toma held the stone and tried. At first, his mind wandered. But after a while, he began to feel something, not in the stone, but in himself. A soft peace. When he opened his eyes, Neri was watching him quietly. You listen, she said. I think I felt something, he replied. That is the beginning, she said. Now we move to shaping energy. She stood and led him to a small platform near the garden. A tiny device stood on it. It looked like a flower made of silver petals. This listens to your mind, Neri explained. If your thoughts are steady, it will bloom. Toma looked at it. What do I do? Close your eyes. Picture the petals. Imagine them opening, slowly, like the sun is waking them. But stay calm. No rush, no force. Toma closed his eyes. He pictured the silver petals. He imagined warm light touching them. He took slow breaths and let his mind grow quiet. Then he heard a soft sound. He opened his eyes. The silver petals were opening. Not all of them, just a few, but enough to glow. Faintly, Toma smiled in surprise. You did it, Neri said. I didn't think it would work. You were present. That is all it needs. Toma touched the device gently. It was still glowing. I've never done anything like this, he said. You are not using a tool, she replied. You are becoming part of it. They spent the rest of the day walking through different parts of the underground city. Neri showed him how light could grow from kind thoughts, how machines listened better when emotions were calm, and how memory crystals sang softly when someone truly paid attention. In one room, Toma sat beside a large rock with glowing lines. Neri gave him a small tool that looked like a smooth pen. This is for shaping, she said. Not with hands, but with intention. He held the tool and closed his eyes. He thought of his village. He thought of his mother planting seeds, of children playing near broken machines, of his old teacher who always said, fixing isn't enough. You must understand. When Toma opened his eyes, a pattern had appeared on the stone. It looked like waves, rising and falling. What does it mean? He asked. Niri touched the lines. It means your heart carries care. That is the shape of hope. This sat in silence for a while. Then a soft beeping came from the crystal on Toma's wrist device. It was a message from his village. He read it quietly. The crops were dying faster now. Water was low. His people needed help soon. Toma looked at Neri. I want to stay, but I must go soon. Neri nodded. I knew this. Day would come. You are not here to remain. You are here to carry the gift. She walked to the crystal tree and touched one of its lower branches. A soft light flowed from it, and a second seed crystal appeared. She gave it to Toma. "This holds life," she said, "but it will only grow if you share it with calm minds and kind hearts. Do not give it to those who want to control it." Toma held the second crystal gently. "Will it work? If you remember what you learned here, it will." He looked around one last time. The garden, the pool, the glowing walls, all of it felt like a dream he would never forget. "I will come back," he said. "I will be here," Neri said with a smile. As he walked back to the ship, the two crystals safe in his bag, Toma felt something new inside him. It was not power. It was not knowledge. It was balance. And it was the beginning of something greater than he had ever known. Toma sat inside his small ship. The sky of Varine 3 stretched above him, quiet and wide. The crystal from Neri rested in his hand, glowing gently with soft blue light. It was calm, warm, and peaceful, just like the city he had left behind. As he prepared for takeoff, he looked out one last time toward the distant hills. He thought of Neri's voice, her quiet smile, and the words she had said to him, "You must learn to give, not just fix." The ship rose into the air, slow and steady. Toma didn't rush. He wasn't just leaving a planet, he was carrying something special back to Earth, something he didn't fully understand yet, but believed in with his whole heart. His village was small and dry. The air smelled like dust, and the land around it was brown and cracked. Old machines worked day and night to bring water from underground, but even they were growing weak. When Toma landed, people gathered quickly. Children ran toward him, smiling and excited. The elders stood back, their faces full of hope and worry. "You've been gone for many days," said Milo, one of the village helpers. "Did you find anything?" Toma nodded. "I found something, but it's not what you expect." He didn't pull out tools or batteries. Instead, he opened his hand and showed them the small glowing crystal. Some looked surprised, others frowned. "That's just a rock," someone said. "We need real help." Toma smiled gently. "This is not just a rock. It listens, it grows. But only if we learn how to treat it right." He walked to the center of the village, near the old tree that hadn't grown in years. He placed the crystal into the dry soil at its base. Then he sat down beside it, closed his eyes, and began to breathe slowly. People watched in silence. One of the children, a girl named Lena, sat beside him. "What are you doing?" she whispered. "I'm thinking kind thoughts," he replied. "I'm remembering what it feels like to care." Lena smiled and closed her eyes too. More children joined, then a few adults, then Milo. One by one, the villagers sat in a circle round the tree. The next morning, the first green leaf appeared on its branch. Toma didn't try to control the crystal. He simply taught what he had learned. Every evening, he sat with the villagers in quiet thought. He taught them how to listen not to machines, but to each other and to the earth. Soon, things began to change. The air felt lighter. The ground felt softer. Water from the pumps became cleaner. The machines still worked, but somehow they didn't break as often. The people smiled more. They argued less. Toma built a small school near the old well. It was simple, a circle of stones, and a roof made from metal scraps and cloth. He called it the listening place. There, he taught the children about balance, about thought energy, and about the crystal's quiet gift. One day, a boy named Kyo asked, "Is this magic?" Toma shook his head. "No, it's something all people have, but we forget to use it. When you stop rushing and start caring, the world hears you." Weeks passed. The village became a place of peace. Even visitors from nearby towns noticed the change. One visitor, a man named Doran, walked through the fields and saw the growing crops. "What kind of machine did you use?" he asked Toma. "No machine," Toma said. "Just thought, care, and patience." Doran laughed. "You can't grow food with feelings." Toma didn't argue. He simply placed another crystal into a small garden and invited Doran to sit with them. After a week, Doran's mind changed. "I don't know what's happening here," he said, "but I feel lighter." One evening, Toma walked alone to the hill near the village. He sat quietly, looking at the stars. He remembered the tree of memory, the floating stones, and the sky room. He remembered Neri kneeling before him and saying, "I can give you more than they ever will." Now he understood. She didn't give him power. She gave him a path. Not a path of tools, but of trust. Not a path of control, but of care. He looked at the glowing village below, the people laughing, the lights shining gently, the trees swaying. In the soft breeze, this was more than he had ever dreamed. The next day, Lena came running up the hill. "Toma," she shouted. "The crystal tree near the well, it's blooming." Toma followed her. When he reached the well, he saw it. The crystal he had planted had grown taller. It now looked like a small tree, just like the one in Neri's city. Its branches were made of light. Round it, soft flowers had appeared, blue and gold and silver. The villagers gathered in wonder. "It's alive," whispered one of the elders. Toma placed his hand on the trunk. It was warm and steady. A soft hum filled the air. "This is only the beginning," he said. "If we keep walking the path, it will keep growing." Toma stood quietly beside the glowing crystal tree. Its silver blue light spread across the village. Soft and calm, round it, the flowers glowed gently in the night breeze. It looked like a dream, but it was real. The villagers no longer doubted him. They had seen the change with their own eyes. The soil was healthier. The water tasted cleaner. The machines worked longer without repairs. People helped each other more than before. Toma had returned home. But he had also brought home something new, something living, something peaceful. One morning, a small flying machine landed near the edge of the village. It was from the city, a place where officials lived and old rules still controlled everything. 3 people stepped out of the machine. One of them was a woman named Nara. She wore a clean white coat and spoke with sharp, careful words. "We heard something strange is happening here," she said. "The land is changing too fast. The energy patterns are not normal." Toma nodded politely. "We are learning a new way." Nara looked around. "Where is your tech, your power stations?" "We don't need them," Toma said. "The crystal does not run on fuel. It responds to care." Nara frowned. "That is not possible. Technology must be measured and controlled." Toma looked at the children playing near the crystal tree. Their laughter filled the air like music. "You are welcome to stay," he said. "But only if you sit with us and listen." The visitors stayed for 3 days. They watched the people. They tested the soil, the air, the machines. Everything seemed better, but they couldn't understand why. On the 3rd night, Nara sat with Toma beside the tree. "I don't understand," she said. "No one is forcing the machines to work, yet they work. No one is programming anything, yet things fix themselves." Toma smiled. "The energy is not from wires or batteries. It is from balance." "Balance," she repeated. "Yes," he said. "We treat the land with care. We treat each other with respect. And the crystal listens. It responds to kindness, not commands." Nara was silent for a long time. Then she asked, "Where did you learn this?" Toma looked up at the stars. "From someone who waited a long time, someone who gave me something better than power." After the visitors left, word spread quickly. More people came. Some were curious, some were hopeful. A few were angry that something so powerful was not under human control. Toma refused to give the crystal away. "This is not a thing to own," he said. "It is a gift to understand." One man from a large city offered him trade machines, supplies, even land if he gave them the seed crystal. Toma shook his head. "It will not work for you unless your heart is ready. You cannot buy peace." Many didn't understand, but some stayed and learned. Toma welcomed all who came with patience and respect. Each day, more crystal trees appeared in the village. Some small, some tall. Children planted them with careful hands and sat beside them in the morning sun. The village became a place of quiet wonder. People laughed more, worked together more, and even the animals came closer without fear. Toma never tried to become a leader. He simply shared what Neri had taught him. Be still, be kind, think with care, share what you know. One evening, as the wind passed gently through the glowing trees, Toma walked to the top of a hill near his home. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. Then he heard a voice, not loud but soft and clear. I walk with you, even when unseen. Toma opened his eyes. Neri was standing beside him, not in body, but in a soft light, like a memory alive in the air. You kept the path, she said. Toma nodded. You showed me how. You listened. He looked at the village below. They are listening now too. Neri smiled. Then you are ready for more. The next morning, Toma gathered a group of children near the crystal school. I want to share something with you, he said. He gave each child a small stone, smooth and plain, but with a soft glow. These are listening stones, he explained. They don't speak with words, they speak with care. The village had changed, but the change was quiet. It did not shout or race. It grew slowly, like the roots of the glowing trees that reached deep into the earth. Toma walked through the fields one morning. The sun was soft, and the air smelled of fresh grass round him. The plants swayed gently. The soil was rich and dark, and small flowers had begun to bloom where only dust had been before. Children laughed as they ran between the crystal trees, carrying their small listening stones. Their voices mixed with the gentle hum of the crystals, creating a soft, peaceful song. Toma stopped by the old well, now surrounded by new life. He placed his hand on the cool stone and closed his eyes. In the quiet, he could feel the pulse of the village, the slow, steady beat of care and hope. Inside the small school near the well, children sat in a circle, holding their stones. Toma sat with them, his eyes kind and patient. Today, we will listen not just with our ears, but with our hearts, he said. He asked each child to think of a happy memory, a time they felt safe or loved. As the children focused, their stones began to glow softly. The light was gentle, changing colors like a calm rainbow. Can you feel it? Toma asked. The children nodded, eyes wide with wonder. Good, he said. This is the power of kindness. When you carry kindness inside you, it can help the world outside. Outside, some adults watched with quiet curiosity. Many still worked hard, unsure if these new ways could change their lives. One man, named Ramel, was known as a skeptic. He did not believe in magic or strange powers. But one day, he fell and hurt his leg while fixing a water pipe. The pain was sharp, and Ramel feared he would not work for many days. A young girl, Mira, came to him quietly. She held her listening stone and sat beside him. Close your eyes, she said softly. Think of something calm and warm. Ramil did as she said, though unsure. After a few moments, he felt warmth spread through his leg. The pain lessened. He opened his eyes and looked at Mira. How did you do that? Mira smiled. I listened with my heart. Word of this healing spread through the village. People began to try more. They learned to sit quietly, breathe slowly, and send kind thoughts. Machines that had been broken for months started to hum again, not because someone fixed them with tools, but because the people cared for them. Even the animals returned. Birds sang in the trees. Small creatures came near without fear. The village was no longer just a place to live. It was a place to grow. Toma continued to teach every day. He told stories of Neri and the Raline, of balance and care. One evening, as the sun set behind the hills, he gathered the villagers. There is a new step for us, he said. We have learned to listen. Now, we must learn to share. He explained that sharing meant helping each other, not with machines or money, but with kindness and understanding. The villagers nodded. From that day, neighbors helped neighbors more often. Children shared their listening stones. The village became closer, like a family. One afternoon, a messenger arrived from a nearby city. She was young and curious, named Selin. I want to learn your ways, Selin said. I have heard stories of your village's peace and growth. Toma welcomed her warmly. You must come with an open heart, he said. This is not a place for rushing or demanding. Selin agreed. She stayed many weeks, learning to sit quietly, to breathe with care, and to send kindness. Slowly, Selin changed. She smiled more. She listened more. Before she left, she said, I will take this back with me. Your village is a light. Toma knew the change was spreading, but he also knew the path was long. The world outside was still full of noise and rush. Many still wanted power without care, but the village had learned something new. They had learned that true strength was quiet, that true power came from peace. One night, as Toma sat alone under the stars, he felt a soft breeze. He closed his eyes and listened. A gentle voice whispered in his mind, "You have brought balance. The path is growing." He smiled. He was ready for what would come next. The village had changed more than anyone could have imagined. The land was alive with soft green plants and glowing crystal trees. The air smelled sweet and fresh. People moved slowly but happily, their faces calm and warm. Toma walked through the village one morning. Children ran to him, carrying small glowing stones. "Toma, come see," they called. He followed their laughter to the edge of the village, where a new crystal tree stood taller than any before. Its branches shone like the stars above. A small girl, Lena, stood by the tree. She smiled up at Toma. "It grows because we care," she said simply. Toma nodded. "Yes, Lena, because of you and because of everyone here." He thought back to the first day he met Neri, the alien woman who knelt before him and whispered those strange words, "I can give you more than they ever will." Now, he understood. She had not just given him a gift, she had shown him a way. That evening, Toma sat by the glowing crystal tree. The soft light wrapped around him like a warm blanket. In his mind, he heard Neri's voice once more. "Now you can give more than they ever will." Because he chose to listen, Toma smiled quietly. He had learned to listen not just to the world, but to the hearts of the people. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. The village hummed gently around him, full of life and hope. Days passed, and news of the village's peaceful growth spread far and wide. People from other towns, cities, and even distant lands came to learn. Some came with doubt, some with hope. Many stayed. They learned the lessons of care and balance. They learned that machines did not need control, but kindness, that the earth did not need power, but respect. One visitor, a teacher named Mira, brought children from her city. She watched as they sat quietly, holding their listening stones and sending calm thoughts. After weeks, Mira said to Toma, "This is a new way to teach, not with force, but with care." Toma nodded. "It is the way of the Relene." One evening, a soft light appeared near Toma's home. It was Neri, but not as before. This time, she was made of gentle light, more real than a memory, but not fully. There, she knelt before Toma once again, just like the first time they met. "I have watched you," she said. "You have grown. You have helped others grow. You have given more than they ever will." Toma felt his heart fill with peace. "You were right," he said softly. "It is not about taking or controlling. It is about listening and giving." Neri smiled. "Your people have a gift inside them. They only need to see it." Neri reached out and touched the crystal tree beside them. It shone brighter for a moment. "This world, your village, is a seed. It will grow and spread." Toma looked at the stars above. "Will you stay?" Neri shook her head gently. "I must wait. But I will always walk with you in your thoughts." In your heart, Toma understood. The journey was his now. Months turned into years. The village became a place of peace and learning. The crystal trees grew tall and strong. The land healed. The people smiled more and worried less. Toma grew older, but his heart stayed young. He taught the next generation the lessons he had learned. Children like Lena, Mira, and Kyo sat under the glowing trees, learning to listen and care. One day, a small child sat alone near a young crystal tree. She held a small stone and closed her eyes. The stone glowed softly, and the tree's light grew warmer. The child smiled. Toma watched from a distance and thought, "This is the future. Quiet, strong, and full of hope." He knew Neri's gift was not just a power or a tool. It was a way to live in peace, to care deeply, and to listen always. As the sun set on the village, Toma stood beneath the tallest crystal tree. The sky was full of stars, shining bright. He whispered to the night, "Thank you, Neri, for giving me more than they ever will." And in the soft wind, he heard her voice, calm and gentle, "Thank you, Toma, for choosing to listen."